Welcome back to Good Morning Vail. Unfortunately, medical crisis happen, and having to pay for that is just part of it. And lucky for us, we have Jeff Cerovich joining us on the couch with the McGrew agency to talk about that. And Jeff, thanks for joining us this morning.
I know, not always the most pleasant topic to discuss, but it happens a lot. In fact, last year, Ross, over 45% of Americans thought about that. Like, if I go through a medical issue, health issue, cancer battle, heart issue, or a serious accident, how am I going to pay for all the things my health insurance doesn't cover? I remember before I came on with our agency, I read a Harvard Business Review from 2008 that 60%, I believe, of the medical bankruptcies that year were medically related, yet 80% had health insurance.
Ooh.
So I kind of started looking at that as what's the disconnect. I interviewed with this company and they kind of showed a product line that will pay folks cash when they go through those health issues to offset all their indirect costs that they don't think about. So when I sit with a client, I say, hey, we all take our good health for granted until we lose it. Now what? You're not going to work. The boss likes you, but if you don't show up, how are you drawing a paycheck?
Right.
So our goal when I sit with a client is really not to sell our product, it's to educate them and inform them on all the out-of-pocket expenses they face when they go through a medical issue.
Yeah, and especially in a community like ours, that's so active and cancer's everywhere, right? It's really important for us here in this community. And speaking of some of those out-of-pocket costs, we're talking in the billions last year, right? That people are paying.
Little more than that.
Okay.
So the three big issues when I sit with folks that seem to affect folks the most is cancer is number one, heart issues are number two is regarding health, but then accidents are probably the biggest with over $1 trillion spent just last year in the United States on accidents. So when you look at, we kind of use this little iceberg analogy, what's above the waterline is what healthcare covers. I believe accidents last year was about 200 million, but over 800 million was kind of below that iceberg line. So the analogy I give, it's not what sunk the Titanic, what they could see above the water, it's what they couldn't see. That's the cancer graphic, so that's what was spent on cancer last year. So again, two costs. Direct is what health insurance covers, so that's paying the docs and hospitals. What we try and educate folks on is the indirect costs, and that's, again, lost income. Obviously, living expenses continue. The mortgage is coming in whether you go to work or not. I've got 3 kids, they want to eat whether I go to work or not. So we just try and help folks understand that if you can't go to work and you're not drawing income yet these bills are coming in, I don't want people having to go into their savings, their retirement, their kids' college funds, because when those are drained and gone, now what? Now the house might be on the line.
Right.
So we just try and help folks cover those indirect costs by just paying cash directly to them, and they can use the money however they want.
Right, and it's such a stressful situation being where this is with health issues, so that extra income is crucial, and that's kind of where you guys come in, right? And you guys are able to help people. How do you kind of explain to clients what you can do?
Right. Yeah, I mean, we just go through, we have different options. We can meet anyone's budget. We have 4 tiers of enrollment, so if money's tight, which a lot of folks it is, we can still give you a very attractive, affordable monthly commitment, but still has a true impact if you have to use it. I was in a business and I spoke to a young lady, she was 19 years old, and I lead with our cancer product. She goes, how much is it, or how much will it pay me? I said, if you hit every benefit, Crystal, it'll pay you $10,000 per month, no lifetime limits.
Wow.
She's like, well, what will it cost me? I said, $11.10. She's like, sign me up. I'm like, why are you doing this? You're 19. She goes, Jeff, my best friend in high school got diagnosed with leukemia. His parents lost their house.
Wow.
If you're telling me I won't do that to my folks, my parents, sign me up. And this is an example of one of my clients. So we use handwritten testimonials, Ross, when people go through these. That's our marketing. But we paid this young lady over $108,000 for 10 cancer claims over a 10-year period.
Amazing.
And all it cost her was $63 a month for the whole family.
Amazing.
So she never had to go into her retirement.
Yeah, and so how can people find you, or where can people go for more information? And
So I book and typically go to somebody's business. So I'm happy. I don't have a home. I mean, I have a home office, but I go. People like the fact that I come to their place of business. We sit in a conference room or break room, and I take maybe 20 minutes to explain this, show different options. But what really intrigues people, Ross, and this is why I took the position, if someone, say, signed up for maybe $100 a month for everything, then I can typically do that. If they never use our product after 25 years, they get 100% of their money back.
Oh, wow, amazing.
So we're going to write them a check. You're going to get $30,000 back.
Amazing.
We get to keep the interest as a company.
Right.
I gotta get paid somehow.
Of course.
So we just invest the monthly premium and keep the interest, but that client is either getting unlimited cash payout if they have to use it, the rates are locked, and if they never use it, they get it all back.
Amazing. So this is for people trying to get ahead of a medical crisis, and also for people that find themselves in a medical crisis?
So that's the one caveat. I've got to catch people prior to, so my maybe not so good joke is you can't crash the car and then call and say, hey, I need car insurance.
Of course,
right?
Of course.
We've got to catch you. So what qualifies you is not the money, it's your health.
Right.
And almost all of my clients qualify when I meet them. So,
right.
And hopefully they never have to use it.
Right, so. And again, in a community like ours where accidents happen and medical crises are somewhat unpredictable,
yep.
It's a great idea. How do you explain to people that this is really a benefit to them?
By just walking them through. I mean, the company I feel has put together a very easy to understand scripted presentation. When people get to the end, they just like, well, this looks like something I want to put in place, but how do I budget for that? And then we can tailor it to whatever their budget is.
Right, and I'm sure you have some very powerful success stories, right? Like some of these written testimonials. Can you talk a little bit about some of the people that you've helped?
Well, Tiffany that we just showed was probably my biggest local, but I got to attest that the accident coverage actually works. So
okay.
I dumped the mountain bike about 5 years ago. This $80,000 shoulder, my company paid me almost $9,000. So I paid my deductible, and the 2 weeks I couldn't work, that additional cash was just used to pay all my bills, pay the mortgage, and it's not taxable. You didn't earn it, it's a paid benefit. So we just put it in folks' accounts, they do whatever they want with the money, no strings attached.
For sure.
So,
and this is, do you try to catch people like some of these in their teens or trying to get anyone?
You gotta be at least 18.
Okay.
And I can go up to age 80. But I'd say the top of the bell curve, Ross, is like 30 to 55 working class families here in the Valley. That's your peak expense years where it's costing the most, right? I've raised 3 kids. It's not inexpensive.
Yep.
So I just was very grateful when I had my issue that, I knew there was some peace of mind knowing I had some cash that I didn't have to touch the savings I'd worked so hard for.
Yeah, and then obviously you're based locally, but you're helping people across the country, right?
We are a nationwide company. I received an update recently. Folks that have enrolled here, the bulk of my 2,600 clients I've enrolled here, but I have clients now in 30 states.
Awesome.
So I didn't go to 30 states.
Right,
they just kind of relocated. So it is portable. You can take it with you. I just paid an accident claim from a gentleman who got injured in Jamaica.
Okay.
So even the accident coverage works out of the country.
Wow. What's something, a frequently asked question or something that a lot of people kind of ask you when they come into it?
Is this a real business? Because no one has ever heard of a company, and especially an insurance company, that says rates are locked, unlimited cash payout, no lifetime limit, and you get all your money back. So that's just a foreign concept to most people, but our founder found, he was in the industry about 10 years prior, he saw the frustrations with most other insurance, just a broad brush, that people would pay all this money and then all of a sudden there seemed to be these, it was, such and such and we can't pay you. Right. So I have paid out over $500,000 in claims in the 11 years I've been with the company, wow, here mostly in the Valley. Mm-hmm. So promises made, promises kept.
Right.
When I sit with a client, I look them in the eye, I go, hey, there's no fine print. You do have to go 25 years if you want the money back, or pass away, which I hope doesn't happen.
Right.
And you're not earning interest. Other than that, it's as black and white as I'm showing you.
Yeah, amazing. Thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Absolutely.
Anything else we should have talked about? Anything else people should know?
No, I'd love to have a sit down. I'm very easy to work with. I don't pressure people. I hear no the first time. Right. So I just want an opportunity to share the information. So if people want to get a hold of me, call me. My cell, 970-376-4337. Let's book a coffee meet and greet. Give you a quick overview of rates, and if it's for you, great. If not, no harm, no foul.
Definitely. And then you still on that mountain bike?
Oh yeah.
Going
to Moab this weekend.
Beautiful time of year to get out and take advantage of it. Not the most fun topic, but it's amazing the help you're giving people. So really cool what you guys are doing over there.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Appreciate it.
And we'll be back with more Good Morning Vail.